Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this tutorial we're going to be showing you how you can use dynamic lists with the drop down options, or should we say data validation. So just to recap on data validation and then show you what a dynamic list is and obviously why the benefit is. As you'll know, we've previously looked at drop-down lists, so these are particularly useful when you're having someone else fill out the data in your spreadsheet. So really quick recap, so what we need to do if we want that here in this row 3, we'd go to our Data tab, we'd go to Data Validation, we can select the option of List, and then from our source we could put in some options, so you can have a yes or no. If this was a yes/no field, separate by the comma, do OK, and then what this does, it then enables a drop down in this value for an individual to select either yes or no to enforce that those values are always used. So we'll just quickly remove that. Well, actually, before we do that, the thing with this is if we now want to update this list, obviously before I quickly remove it, we need to keep updating and adding new options, should we call them, into this list. So if we want to have maybe as an option, we'd have to go into the data validation, add maybe, and then obviously you can then select that option. What is all fine and good, but obviously if we want to make this more streamlined so that if as new values become available, we can just update them into the list. And also as well, if you've got users using this file that maybe don't have as much knowledge about Excel, it can obviously slow it up and cause problems going backwards and forwards when they're asking you to add new values. So what we're going to do is create a solution to make sure that any new desirable values can be quickly added to that drop-down. To do so, we're going to use a couple of parts. So we're going to use a named range in our Excel, and we're also going to be inserting a table. So to not try and make it more complicated than it sounds, we'll step through the process and explain it as we go. So the first thing we're going to do is just go to column F. You could be on the same sheet or you could do this onto a different workbook. It's entirely up to you, but for the purpose of this tutorial, it'll be easy to keep it on one page. So what we're going to do is give ourselves a header and we're going to call it options. And let's say the first option is yes. So we'll go with the same yes/no drop-down box we just now briefly looked at. So once we've got those into there, we can now go and just highlight these, and again it hasn't got to be in row 2, we could put this in the first row, and actually that's what I'm going to do because it looks a bit tidier and it's probably just better practice. So let's just move that up to the first row there. So you can see we've got options and one option of yes. All we're going to do is select both of those cells and we're going to go to the Insert tab and insert a table. So you can see the range is selected, and the only thing just to remember with this is that this tick box here has been selected so that it indicates that the table has headers, obviously for us being that first row that says options. So select OK, and you'll see the slight difference in formatting, the header being in the dark blue, and then you can see the yes just still below it. So we're kind of getting there. We've got the data in a table, or into a table. So how do we now get this into a name range that we can use in our drop-down? So the next part we need to do is we go to formulas. So within formulas, we're looking for name manager that appears halfway across your ribbon. Once you've located it, you just select that and you'll get a pop-up that looks very similar to what you see on the screen. We need to create a new name range. So we're going to call the name of this one, again, options, keeping it all consistent so we know what we're talking about. What we can do, don't need to worry about any of the other fields there. We're just going to go straight to the refers to field. And if we just select here, and you can see it's now changed the pop-up slightly, and it's gone to the range we have selected. So you can see it's given us our sheet name followed by the cell reference of G5. All we want to do with that selected, we can delete it out there if it helps, is just come to your table and select that first value of yes, and you can see the reference has changed. So it's now telling us our table is table number 5, and in brackets we've got options. So options is the column header or field name for the only field that we have available in this table. So there we go, table 5 and options. And yours might be slightly different in terms of your header if you've chosen to put a header other than options. Once we've done that, we can click this button once again and we can now see the completed information. So we've got our name, which is options, we've got the reference here, and then we can click OK. You'll get the pop-up once more, nothing to confirm here, but we can just see it in its entirety, and then we'll just close that. Okay, so if we now go over to column B, to our selection, we're ready to now put in our drop-down. So what we need to do is once again data, and we'll go to the data validation option, and you can see our pop-up. And what we'll do is we'll go down to our list option, and then we can go and enter our source. So rather than having to enter our yes option or yes, no, and how many options we want, all we now need to do is make reference to our named range. So all we're going to do is go equals and the name of options, and then click OK. And that's it, everything is now in place. So if we go to our drop down here, we can see that we have the option of yes. And obviously that's the only one we have available to select. But if we now want to add additional options, all we need to do is, rather than going back into data validation, whether it's yourself or someone using this file, all they need to do is type at the end of this table column, so no, and you can see as soon as you type, the table expands to include the additional value you've just added. And we can tell that by the formatting that you now have around no. And just do that one more time, you can see at the bottom here in row 4, it's currently blank. If we were to add the option of maybe, you can see the formatting again has encompassed that additional value, and a bit more obvious with the maybe because we've got now the blue background. But having added those two values, if we now go back to our drop down and select the thing, or the drop down arrow, sorry, you can now see that both of those have been incorporated into our drop down. So it makes it a lot easier for managing these going forwards with updating additional values. And all you need to do is just create those different tables and name ranges for all the drop down values you require. So if you need more than one drop down, so you might have 2 or 3, then you just need to enter another 2 tables, another 2 name ranges, and then make the reference in the drop down or the data validation as we've done here. So we hope you enjoyed that video and it's gave you insight and maybe even solved a problem or given you a solution to an issue you currently or previously had. If you did enjoy the video, please do give the video a like, and it's greatly appreciated and it really does help us out. Lastly, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you're notified of all of our new videos as soon as they come out. Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you in the next video.